Hello guys, welcome to a new episode of the Bit by Bit Gamer Show. In this episode we are gonna dive into Red Dead Redemption 2 for the PlayStation 4, so let's take it away. The hype for Red Dead Redemption was pretty big, and I think that's one of the biggest problems of the game. Let's dive into it.
My first impression of the game was that it was boring. You start with a cutscene, next you ride a horse in a snowy dark landscape. The reflection of the lantern and the snow and the tracks in the snow look really good. After 15 minutes, finally something happens. Till then you've only used your thumbstick. You get to shoot gang members and loot their shelter. Next you go on a pretty boring horse ride and a pretty boring deer hunt. I won't tell you anything more, you have to play the game for yourself. I don't want to spoil the experience for you. So the start of the game is pretty slow. The movement of the characters is well done. The movements of the horse is even better than the previous game. Things seem to float from time to time, like you didn't have a real surface to walk on. But also its behavior. The horse takes a dump when you're standing next to it, and those tiny little things improve the realism tremendously. What takes away from the illusion is intersecting objects like a deer and a tree. I know what the problem is program-wise. I wrestled a bit with the OpenGL kit in my programming days. You have to draw objects in the background first, then the objects on the foreground. You have to make a decision what comes first, and if they're seemingly on the same distance, what do you do? But I expected that clever programmers would have found a solution by now, 15 years later. Rockstar is king of creating atmospheres. The snowy landscapes, the shadows in the sunlight, the cold, the icy wind blowing in your face, and objects are portraying a more realistic mass than before, although they are physically cardboard drawn like textures. And the snow is falling from twigs when you walk up against them. Really well done. What totally annoys me is the amount of speech in the game. Those guys talk non-stop all the time. When you're on your horse, on the train, in the barn, everywhere. And we guys say that women talk much. Blah 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 blah. I think I did make my point, right? The first few hours of gameplay is not really about the open world. You follow a storyline. The game is big, massive even, and I can see why it took so long and so much effort to make it. And I wonder if they have taken it too far, maybe a little bit. If a company can pull off such a huge project, why is it impossible for the Dutch government to take on an IT project that is quarter the size? And the controls. Why do you have to use every button on the controller? I want to play for fun, and if I want to learn something, I'll grab a book. Luckily there isn't changed much since Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead 1, but still. To be honest, I had higher expectations of the game. The media hype was big and I don't feel it lives up to the expectations that they set for the game. The story couldn't really grab me, which it did in Red Dead 1. The graphics are good and improved, but not superb. The gameplay didn't really change. The game is more the same thing as Red Dead 1. I hoped for more ingenious gameplay ideas, like Rockstar displayed before. It reminds me a little bit of the iPhone. The new model has exactly the same features as the previous one, except for the price. And also the biggest new feature of Red Dead Redemption 2 is its increased price. I won't go as far as saying that the game is bad, because it definitely isn't. It's just not something new. It's just a polished version of Red Dead 1. Where I did run in a bug here and there in Red Dead 1, I didn't come across any during my first hours of gameplay. I raised the bar of expectation in my mind and the game just couldn't live up to that. I quit playing Red Dead 1 because it was too boring and it doesn't give me a real challenge. I hoped that Red Dead 2 was better in that regard, but regretfully no. I played the game for about 4 hours and for the purpose of this channel, but I don't feel compelled to pick up the controller again, despite all the effort that Rockstar poured into the game. I consider this a loss of my 4 hours and my €60. And I'm happy that I didn't buy any of the stupidly expensive special editions.
Let's attach some scores at Red Dead Redemption 2. First of all, the difficulty level, well, okay, it's pretty easy or medium, if you like to call it that way. If I have to give some scores for the graphics, an 8, the sound an 8, the replay value a 4, sorry guys, originality a 3 out of 10. Controls a 5, not really well. Animations a 9 and the fun factor a 4. I hope you enjoyed this video. There are a lot more videos coming up about retro video games, and therefore subscribe to the channel so you never miss one. Thank you for watching and I hope to see you in the next one.